wonderful Jell-O setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job for a sanitation department. Do we know what a sanitation department is? Samantha?
A sanitation department is something. It's the garbage man.
That's right. Good job. It had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for the fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so that the soil would be richer for the people's flower gardens. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worse. What do you think happened?
It became bigger and better, bigger food.
Okay, let's find out. One day, there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day long. The next day, there was only broccoli, all overcooked. And the next day, there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. Another day, there was pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal. They got stuck in the fog. The food was getting larger and larger, so were the portions. The people were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, some with seeds and some without. There was white bread and rye and whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen bread and rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. Roofs were damaged and the sanitation department was beside itself. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. You guys. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds picked at it a bit, but it stayed there and got stellar and stellar. Do y'all know what stell means?
Harder, it got harder.
That's right. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school. No one could get it off because of its weight, so they had to close the school.
The children are like happy children.
How would you feel if your school was closed?
Happy.
I feel sad.
Lunch one day
Don't
brought
know you're gonna go to a new one.
15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick, and the day ended with a stomachache. There was an awful
Guys.
wind accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly
We're not done.
and running to avoid the tomatoes. The town was a mess. There were seeds and pulp everywhere.
Peyton and Jack can pull a clip.
Would you be scared if you saw a tomato tornado coming after you?
Yes.
I would be too. No, you wouldn't. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been badly damaged by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up, and there was no more school for the children. Do you think that they're going to eat all the bad food, or do you think they're going to run away? Okay, let's find out.
Don't worry about it. Guys, y'all are way too loud.
So a decision
Hang
was
on.
made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. Do y'all know what the word abandon means? That's right, to leave and never come back. It was a matter of survival. The people glued together the giant pieces of stale bread, sandwich style with peanut butter, took the absolute necessities with them, and set sail on their rafts for a new land.
Sandwich wraps.
Sandwich rafts. Do you think they're going to float?
Yes. The shark ate some of it.
Let's see.
I saw the shark eat some of it.
Listen.
After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town, which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at a supermarket. They found it odd that the food was kept on shelves, packaged in boxes, cans, and bottles. Meat that had to be cooked was kept in large refrigerators. Nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. No one ever got hit by a hamburger again. And nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what had happened. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his kiss goodnight. Did you guys go back to the town of Chew and Swallow? Y'all aren't scared? No? Well, that's good. We're almost done.
Almost done, guys.
The next
Listen.
morning we woke up to see snow falling outside our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes.
Coming to them.
The end.